Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Down Under Mastermind call for the 14th of December. And tonight we have the one and only Dan Holloway coming to you from the UK. Welcome, Dan.
Yay!
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks, guys.
The floor is yours. Tell us a bit
Perfect.
about, for those that don't know who you are and how long you've been around. Just give us a bit of an insight.
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to, no problem. Thank you, Bobby. For anyone watching the recording, I think everyone on this call pretty much know you guys already, but for anyone watching the recording, name's Dan Holloway. I've been in SFM since the 10th of September 2016 when I submitted my application, so that's just over 1 year ago. I'm positioned at black. I went black on October the 6th, 2016, so it's sort of pretty quick. When I started, I realised that this is what I want to do. And my background was in a career of corporate software sales, so I was working 70 hours per week. I was earning good money, but I was kind of feeling pretty unfulfilled, trading all of my time to earn that money. And all I was really doing was like working, looking forward to the weekend where I'd have a couple of days to do stuff. And then it's back to work again midweek. And that's if I wasn't working Saturday. So really didn't want to live that lifestyle for the rest of my life. And my big wake up moment was I was looking for new jobs, new roles in London for some of the big London software companies like Salesforce, Eloqua, Oracle, those kind of businesses. And in those companies, if you do really well and if you're like a top sales guy, you'll earn £250,000 a year. And I was looking at that and I was thinking, right, that's got to be the next goal. The next level has got to be to get that kind of income. But I was looking at these jobs and I wasn't like enthused by it. I was thinking, okay, right, it'll be good money, but I've just got to go through the whole same thing again. I've got to work my way up through that business. I've got to, do what I've already done over the last 5 years in my current company. And like, it wasn't really, the thought wasn't appealing to me. And I suddenly realized that any income goal I'd had in the past, whether 30K, 50K, 100K, whatever, as soon as I'd hit that goal, nothing would really change. As soon as that became the norm, it's like, okay, well, this is my life now. Here we are. And like, sure, I'd buy nicer things. But my lifestyle really was exactly the same. It's just trading time for money, working a career. And then when I realized that, I suddenly thought, well, why do I think that £250,000 a year in the same role is going to change anything? Like, I'm just kidding myself. And that was when I realized I had to go down a different path, because if I didn't change, I'd just give up my whole life. Then I'd retire. And then what? I've got no time left to do anything I wanted to do. So that was my big wake up call. And from that moment, funny how we always sort of see and hear things at the moment that we're ready to hear them. Saw an advert from the lifestyle team. It was, I'm pretty sure it was Chris, Gerard and Merrily's ad, but I said this in Perth because Chris is adamant that it was his ad that I signed up to. And when I first met them in Brisbane, Gerard was like, no, he says it was my ad that converted. And Chris is like, it's right here, it's on the tracking, it's my ad. And Gerard's like, no, Dan says it, which is kind of funny, watching those guys have a little tiffle about it. So I saw their ad and I signed up to SFM. I was skeptical as hell for the first week or so. Then I joined the OC, and that was when I was like, right, I get this. I see what this is about. I'm in. And then from that point on, it was really, really quick to upgrade and go through the process. And my journey from there, there's a few key things that I've, I think, really embodied that have kind of got me to where I am now. One of them, if anyone knows me, you'll have heard me say a million times, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? Which is a question I'd always ask myself in any situation where I'm like, I want to get to there, but I'm not sure if it's the right thing. And I feel all this fear and I don't know what the right decision is. And as soon as I ask myself that question, well, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? Okay, well, I'd do that. And therefore, what it means is the only thing that's holding me back is fear. And I'm trying to find a way around it. I'm trying to do an easier way without having to lean into the fear and all that stuff. So I ask myself that question. It just clears the path. That's what I need to do. I've got to lean into that fear and just go for it. And really that question, it's shaved probably years off my timeline to get to this point, because instead of procrastinating for weeks or a month on a decision, I just ask myself that question. I know what I have to do, and then I go do it. And then the next day I've got the next challenge to face. And I just constantly am leaning into fear and facing these challenges again and again and again and again. And then suddenly you look back and you realize how far you've come in a short space of time. Because often we don't realize when we're in the hamster wheel grinding away, people get some perspective sometimes. So that was definitely one of them, one of the main things. And the other thing that I think I really learned to embody through Justin Wolfe was this attitude, this mindset of whatever it takes. Because when you have that mindset, like nothing will stop me. I don't care what I have to do. I will figure it out. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to there. You become unstoppable, because any challenge that comes in your path, if you're in that mindset where truly nothing will stop you. And I use an analogy now, like the gun to head analogy. People say, oh, you know, I would do that, but I can't because of this, or I can't raise the capital to get marketing budget or position at black, or, you know, I've got kids, I've got a family. It's easy for that guy. He hasn't got those responsibilities, but I've got this, so I can't do that. And like, the thing that I say is, well, if you had a gun to your head and it was either do the thing that you need to do to get there or die, I genuinely believe that everybody would figure out a way to do it. Because if you've got a gun to your head, if your life is on the line, you have no choice. Like, it's the ultimate incentive. You're going to find a way to do it. Even if someone's like, raise 100K in 6 weeks, if you have a gun to your head, you will find a way to do it. Otherwise you're dead. It's as simple as. And like, that's the mindset that you need. If you truly want to change your result and like get a different result in your life, if you've got that mindset, nothing will stop you. And that's, again, one of the biggest things that I think has really helped. And the difference is, I mean, a lot of the time I feel that people I speak to, like my members that are coming through, often people think it's like the tactics or the strategy, or, you know, what tip or technique, or, you know, what tactic or strategy can I learn that's going to help me do what you do, or do what someone else does, or replicate that result. And like, people don't realize it's nothing to do with the tactics. It's literally nothing to do with the tactics, because we've got all the information in the world literally at our fingertips. Like, everybody knows how to get 6-pack abs and, you know, get in great physical shape, but how many of us do it? Like me included, you know. Hardly any of us do it. We know how to do it, the information's there, but it's not the tactics that's the issue, it's the mindset behind it. Just laughing, I'm wondering what Helena just said to Grant then, but I won't go into that. But yeah, so it's not the tactics. And so realistically, that just the point I wanted to make of this introduction is just to give you a bit of an idea, if you don't know me, of you know, where I came from, the mindset I had coming into this, and the progress at this point after 12 months of actively marketing. So I started in December 2016. It is now December 2017 at the point of shooting this video. So 12 months of marketing. First 6 months were really hard, like, you know, working really long hours, just dedicating everything I had to do this. Literally just stuck in this front room, which I'm wearing back now, just working away. But then the 6 months after that, that's been where I started to see profits in the business. So I had my first, so I had a $9,000 a month off of, this is US dollars, by the way, a $9,000 a month off of about £3,000, so call it $4,000 marketing spend in June. July was then $21,000, August was $29,000, September was a bit lower, that was $9,000, but then October was $55,000, and then November $32,000, and December so far, about halfway through the month, it's about $37,000. And I'm like focusing everything I have right now on first 6-figure month in January. That's what I want to do. That's the aim. So whether I achieve it or not, that's the thing, but that's what I'm going for. So we shall see how things pan out. And like in the middle of all of that, you know, a lot of traveling. So since August 22nd, I've been in the UK, I think about 2 weeks, maybe a bit more, I don't know. But it's just the ability to, when you have that mindset and you know what you want, like the time it takes to drastically change when you're facing challenges every day, leaning into fear every day, doing exactly what it takes every day to get to where the people are that have got the result. Like, it is amazing how quickly you can change if you're dedicated to it. So that's me. That's a bit of an overview of me. I think for this call today, for the guys on the call, I'm not going to do some sort of presentation or talk to you about YouTube, because I mean, all this stuff is now in the back office. Like, I'm doing this through the Elite Mastermind with Wolf at the moment. Got a lot of training in my members Facebook group. If you're not a member, just go on Facebook, just type Scrap the 9 to 5. It's the private members community. Any SFM members welcome to join. So there's a ton of training in there. So for this call, let's make it a live, interactive Q&A. Whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever you want to, you know, go into, let's do it as like a mastermind to get everyone's opinions and views on things as well. And yeah, just pick each other's brains, and let's see where we can go from here.
Cool.
We have some questions.
Go on, Helena.
Alrighty. So the first one is what we were briefly talking about earlier. So when I watched I don't know, I can't remember. I watched a couple of your calls today, but one of them was your Elite Mastermind. The other one was your private members mastermind as well. So you mentioned about how you actually use the campaigns thing in aweber rather than just adding all the videos to the legacy follow-up series, because currently whatever we've added on to our follow-up series is under that, like that legacy tab. And what we've found is that when we add to it, obviously it sends out to everybody on our list. And then if we try and like rearrange the positioning, well, then it's not going to make sense for people that might have been on our list for 12 months, for example, to have like a, oh, hey, welcome to our list email come to them. So yeah, you mentioned in the previous webinar that you're using this, the other campaigns thing. Can you sort of talk about how we go setting that up? And does it have the more flexibility so that it's not going to be sending out emails to like irrelevant emails to people that are already existing on your list?
And just quickly before you answer that, I saw that Gavin put up some training on that today, and we have not watched that yet, but we are going to watch that for sure.
We have not.
Awesome, good stuff. I wasn't aware of Gavin putting that up, so that could be quite a handy one as well.
I saw it about 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago. I mentioned it to Helena. She's actually not in his members hub, so yeah, she didn't know about it.
Perfect, good stuff. No, that's fine. Hey, Kylie, how we doing? So happy to dive into that. Let me just share screen and make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. Should be that one there. All right, cool. So you should see aweber on the screen now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, awesome. So let me give you an idea of how I set this up. So I'm going to recap what we were talking about before we hit record, just for the benefit of everyone watching so they're up to speed. But essentially the structure is I have the legacy follow-up series. So this is just the standard SFM 7-day video series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've tweaked these messages ever so slightly. My open rates have actually substantially reduced recently. I wonder if it's the 9 to 5. I'll look into that. Right, so I've got the legacy follow-up series here. Now the first campaign, so I've got a number of campaigns that run, and the first campaign is campaign 1. And here we go. So campaign 1, all it is it's 2 emails. So the first one goes out at the same time as the legacy follow-up starts. All right, so people that join the list, they get video series, open this email first, and video 1 at the same time, bang, bang, in their inbox. The legacy follow-up series then just does 1 email per day. So video 2, video 3, video 4, so on and so forth. Now, what campaign 1 then does, side by side, so they're running at the same time, it waits 2 days and 23 hours before performing the next action, which is to send the quick question email.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So quick question email goes out 1 hour before video 4. So they're not getting 2 at the same time. They've got a little bit of time to get the quick question email, read it, possibly reply, which a lot of people do. And then they get video 4 1 hour later. And then after that, all it does is wait 5 days before performing the next action, which is to apply the tag of 7-day completed and campaign 1 completed. So all that means is they've got legacy follow-up series, and through this campaign, aweber knows that they've then been on my list 8 days, and therefore they've finished the follow-up. All right. Mm-hmm. So save and exit. Campaign 2 is then started here. I've just noticed something. This needs to have an extra day in there. There we go. Because if they're waiting 8 days, the legacy follow-up is actually 8 videos, 8 days. So yeah. I want to start this on day 9. So then I've got my email follow-up, my leads follow-up that I've shared in my private members Facebook group from here. And most of these are going 1 day after the last video, providing that day is a Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday. So these are the days that my automated stuff goes out. And then on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'm sending live broadcasts. So it basically means that everybody that's joining my list, once they finish the 7-day video series, they're getting an email per day, whether it's live or automated, every day of the week. Right? That's the plan. There are some points here, for example, this this message here, where I'm doing something a little bit different. So on this one, I'm basically saying they wait 20 hours after the previous email. They get exclusive free access to footage from SFM Personal Momentum Day. You know, that was the video where me and Cordelia and Tom talked on stage. And then it waits 4 hours before sending the next email, which is the actual footage. So I'm sending literally 3 emails, right? So it's waiting 20 hours, then 4 hours, then 18 minutes before sending a third email. And this email sequence is basically to get people to watch the footage, because if they're getting 3 emails in their inbox, bang, 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 within basically 4 hours and 18 minutes of each other, it's much more likely that they're going to spot it. So my open rates on these emails, because of that, are generally much higher. So this one is basically saying, watch your inbox in the next few hours, you're going to get the link. Then this one is the link. And then this one is, oops, I made a mistake. That link starts halfway through the video. Here's the correct link.
Yeah.
So if I look at, cancel that and look at the open rates, you can see here. So the Stuart Ross invitation is that's really, really quite high. But then these ones here, look at the open rates just through having these 3, bang, bang, bang. And then this is like a regular kind of open rate off just a standard email, you know, so it's a big, big, big difference.
Yeah.
And wow, bloody hell, what's going on there? That's a good
People
subject line.
Happy.
Yeah, people want to be happy. So yeah, if you're not using that as a subject line, get on it. That one I think I need to change. Which one there? Oh, it might be because I actually added that one in very recently, so it might be that only a few people have actually got it. Let's have a little look. It's not going to give me any data on it, actually. I can't look at it while it's in the follow-up. Anyway, but the point is that some of these here, that would never used to be that high. I'm not sure that's right. I think AWeber's having a little funny 5 minutes. Because I've had this.
If you decide to change any of these, so obviously the Perth one you would have added in recently, does that get sent out to everybody who hasn't received that, like on your list, or does it just get sent to the people who from the date that you added it, when they get to that stage, then it gets sent to them?
Yeah, good question. So that's right. So leading on to that part, what I would do, if I then create another piece of email content that I want to put in my list, I will broadcast it live, but I will broadcast it live to a segment that has joined my list X amount of days after. So what I mean by that is, if I'm going to add it into my follow-up, let's say 20 days after, I will broadcast it live to people that have been on my list at least 21 days. Then I will drop it in the follow-up at day 20. So no people that get it live will be duplicated with people that are about to get it on the list.
So if you were to just dump it in your follow-up on your campaign and not send it out as a broadcast, it would mean that only the people that are up to that certain stage in the campaign are going to receive it. Your whole other list doesn't receive it. Is that right?
Correct. That's right. Yeah. So basically, if you dumped it in at day 20, anyone that's already on day 21, they're not going to see it. Someone who's on day 19 or before, they will then see that as they get to that point in the follow-up.
Yeah, that's good, because the legacy follow-up is different. If you dump it in, it just goes out to everyone again. And that's the issue that we were having. We sort of, I don't know why, but this whole campaign thing has never crossed our mind before. This is really the first time I've ever really looked at it. So like, this is like mind blowing to us at the moment, because we know that we are now going to make a lot better follow up, especially for our leads and our apps, particularly leads. Yeah. And we can do it properly now. And one of the things I think that's been holding us back has been like, how are we going to do this?
We were nervous about
when we added in the follow-up that everyone's going to get it. It's going to be a whole big stuff up. But now we know how to do it. It's going to be a lot easier.
Because what happened one time is that we added a new email to our follow-up. So we currently have about 15 emails, including the video series. And with the most recent one, we added it to the follow-up, but then we wanted it to be at, say, position 10 rather than 15. And when we dragged it, it then resent what email moved into position 15. And so everyone had already received that, at varying times, but then it resent that email rather than sending out the one that we just added. And it was so messy. And I was just like, this is terrible.
We've always known that there's a proper way to do this and an easier way to do it. It's just, we've never really, there's all these other things screaming so loud at us in the last, especially 7 weeks, especially regarding AdWords. We just sort of haven't
looked at that.
Yeah, looked at it. So, now we're getting to the point where we were, where AdWords is starting to work. We're really starting to focus on this. So all this stuff has come perfect time for us.
No, you're welcome. And one point that is worth mentioning, because what you said there about bumping the list down, that there may be a small section of people on your list, and I haven't actually tested this, but I'm on my list with 2 different email addresses. Yeah. So I know that I never, if I dump something in there, it doesn't send it out just automatically like the legacy follow-up. However, that being said, if I do dump a a video in there instead of replacing a video. So let's say day 20's email goes to day 21's email. It may be that band of people might receive the same email twice, but it's a small price to pay. If I've like sent a live broadcast and it's a really good broadcast and I'm like, okay, I want to put that in my list. You know, if people receive a duplicate email one day, I'd rather have that in the list for everyone else that I'm going to keep pumping through. Because at the end of the day, my plan in this business is to keep scaling and keep scaling and keep scaling. So at this moment, like I have a list of, I think 23,000 at the moment. And I'm like, okay, so 23,000 people might get one duplicate email. But on the plus side, if I've then got 200,000 people on there in 12 months time, I'd rather 200,000 people get great content. So it's a trade-off.
Way of thinking of it.
Cool. Thank
cool.
you.
So hopefully that makes sense. You're welcome. And what I also do, I mean, excuse me, I could just literally dump everything into one campaign. So from here on out, campaign 2 could be endlessly long. But what I do, I don't think you really need to do this, but it's just something I do. I then have campaign 3, which follows campaign 2. So they have a tag applied at the end of campaign 2 that says campaign 2 completed. Campaign 3 is then triggered. And again, it's more of the same sort of stuff. But it just means that as I'm like building these up, I kind of have breakpoints where I can control who's going from where to what. And it's like, I think it just gives me a little bit more flexibility to be able to like regulate, you know, who's going for where, rather than just one huge giant campaign 2, which is kind of hard to track. It's like do 2, then 3, and then I'll do 4, and then I'll do 5 more. Bless you.
Oh,
bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's a double sneezer.
Oh, we love double sneezers.
And then the other question we have is not relevant to this at all, but so this morning I set up a whole heap of new campaigns in AdWords, and this afternoon, so we've been getting leads throughout the day, but they haven't been recorded as conversions in AdWords, and we've never really had this issue before, and I haven't done anything differently.
It's been working with this same landing page and this same thank you page perfectly. It just, what happened today though, Optimized Press needed an update. I don't know whether that came into it, and I actually went through and reloaded all the conversion tags again, just because we were having an issue. Updated Optimized Press, went back through, uploaded all the tags, went on Tag Assistant. Everything seems good. And we've had
but it's been like,
that was like an hour ago, and we've had like 2 or 3 leads, and they still, but I know there is a lag. Period from where it actually fires into AdWords and it actually displays. So we're just at the moment, after doing that, we sort of don't know whether that's worked or whether it hasn't. So we just need to give it a little bit of time.
Do you have any advice?
Drop your landing page link into the chat. Let me have a quick look. Just to make sure that that's all working. And then while I'm doing that, after you drop me the link, if you load up your AdWords dashboard and then go to tools and conversions.
We're already there. We're on that page already, but just grab the landing page.
I think while you're doing that, Catherine might have a question.
You have to unmute yourself first.
Yeah, I just sent Dan a message asking him if snakes produce milk.
It is a very good question.
Yeah,
I would, in my professional opinion on this subject, because it's something I'm very well versed in. My guess would be that snakes do not produce milk. I'm going to say snakes do not produce milk. That's my answer. Yeah, unless anyone knows anything differently.
That question was just for Dan, but he just pulled me out on it.
we had this joke. So when I was in Melbourne with Catherine, they're saying, because my webinars are basically like live Q&A. The whole thing is people post questions beforehand. We talk about it live, we mastermind and so on and so forth. And one of the, thanks Selene and Grant. So one of the, I think one of the questions in the questions thread was a little bit weird, and we were like, "Oh, that's funny." Like one, and I think Catherine said, "Do you get any really weird questions on the webinar?" I said, "From time to time." She goes, "Well, maybe I might come out and ask them a really weird question, like, I don't know, do snakes produce milk?" And I was like, "Go on, do it." And she never did it, but she's messaged me now saying the snakes produce milk.
There's a private message. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thought I'd call you out on that. So, right, let me just.
Landing page. Yep.
Yeah, I've got that. It's all good. I'm there. All right, let's share screens. You should see Helena's landing page now.
Yep, that's it.
Awesome. So let's just, oh, didn't mean to press that. Let's press that one there. So let's enable tag assistant.
So that one is probably only going to have the site tag on it. I just want to get rid of that. Yeah, global site tag analytics, and we do have a remarketing tag on there. So do you want me to put the thank you page up for you?
Yeah, sure. Or should I just sign up? That'd be easier.
You can do that.
All right, cool. That's not my email address, by the way.
Yeah, I figured that. You're going to hear me start talking in a minute.
Yeah, we'll start talking at you.
Pause, yeah. There you go.
Awesome.
Cool. A bit slow. Site tag. How come it's recording the site tag twice? Well, there you've got your conversion.
Yeah, that is because I've added it in the optimized press dashboard between the header tags. And with the old AdWords, it was fine. All I had to do was then take the event tag and stick it in the landing page, and no problem. But when I did it this time with ever since we got the new AdWords, I did the exact same thing and it wasn't working, and I played around for ages, and I ended up putting the global site tag in the header as well, again onto the thank you page. So that's why you can see it there twice, and that actually made it work. That actually made it work perfectly.
But then, today just setting up new campaigns, I didn't change a thing, and for some reason it recorded 2 out of the 11 conversions from the campaigns I set up today. So it was really bizarre that it would record 2 but not the rest.
Okay, right. So the thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is, and I'm going to check your video in a second as well. Are you guys using call to action overlay or cards?
No.
So just advertisers link?
Yeah, just advertisers link.
With like red circles or arrows pointing to where they click. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because the thing that I'd maybe be a little bit concerned about is if you've effectively got the conversion tag saying it 3 times, but if you've got it showing on there twice, what we wouldn't want is for it to trigger twice when it's working correctly and then duplicate your conversions. So I'm going to stop sharing screen.
There's the global site tags on there twice, but the conversion tag's only on there once. And like the reason why that is, you know how you stick the global site tag like in the optimized press dashboard, or you probably haven't done that before. For you, it's probably like the divvy. So it's embedded in every single page of your website automatically. So that was sweet. And I used to have to, all I had to do was on my landing page, just chuck the event code for the lead conversion in between the head tags of my landing page only. And when we changed over to the new AdWords, that didn't work anymore. And I fiddled around for ages, and it ended up going, well, I might just put the global site tag again back onto the landing page, which is why you now see it twice, because it's coming up from the original bit where I embedded it on every single page of the whole website through the optimized press dashboard. And now again on the landing page itself, on the thank you page itself. And then I just pasted the event tag straight underneath that. And then it started working perfectly. And that was only like a week ago. It took me a little while. 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. And it's been working perfectly up until today, which it fired twice. And it was and it really was after we just started changing the campaigns around. And I don't know if that's got anything to do with it.
It shouldn't know, because I've started heaps of campaigns in the last 6 weeks.
Like I said, the only thing that we had, Optimized Press did come up with an update today, which I did. And then I went through and reloaded all the tags back in again just to be sure. The only thing I haven't tried is actually removing that global site tag again from the page.
Okay, cool. So first of all, let's quickly, if you share your screen on your AdWords dashboard, I just want to see what your conversion code is saying within AdWords.
Yep. So this is all new. Like I've set this all up again, so it's all brand new.
Yeah. Click on lead. One conversion, don't use a value. Page load, yeah. Right, cool.
Yeah, so I've taken this global site tag and pasted it once again, like just pasted that between the, it's not there, sorry.
So the AP dashboard settings.
Yeah, so I took that and put it between the optimized press dashboard settings. That's right. And again, I put it on the actual thank you page itself underneath the head tags, and then pasted this event code straight below it, and that worked for me, which is different to what I've done previously. What I did before AdWords updated. Worked for me. After it updated, I did the exact same thing. Didn't work until I put this in on the thank you page again, which is why you see it twice.
Slide shown twice. Okay, let's just quickly. So if you go into your optimized press, and then go to your dashboard. That's it.
Yeah. So analytics and tracking. It's there. There's a few of them here because I've got Facebook and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Here's the header. If you go down to, there's Facebook. Bang. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
So that will embed it, as you know, on every page of the website, which is sweet. If I go to, we're calling this one thanks. I've had to put it there as well. And straight underneath, there's the event code. So the only thing I haven't tried today is by removing this again and just seeing whether it works.
Yeah, I would say, because obviously Optimized Press, Divi, any website platform is essentially the same. Like your code it's showing on your thank you page. Tag Assistant's picking it up. If I was to look at the source code, I'll be able to manually see it, because if I can't, Tag Assistant won't be able to do it. So it's there. Both of them are there across the whole website. So there's no reason that it wouldn't work off of what you've done already. So I would say, if I were you, I'd just remove the global site tag from your thank you page. Like there's no need to duplicate it twice, because it is showing there correctly across the website. And the event code, the event snippet, again, it's showing you've added it in the right place. It's on the thank you page only. Obviously, we've checked your landing page, checked your thank you page. That's all working fine. In AdWords, you're recording conversions. In YouTube, you've only using the advertiser's link, so all your conversions should track 100% fine. So everything has been done correctly. But you're right, there are sometimes delays on AdWords. So there will be times when I look at my AdWords dashboard, and if I look like during the same day, my aweber leads might be 160 and my AdWords dashboard might be like 110 or something. So there's like a bunch of stuff missing, and then it updates afterwards. So I would say leave it for 24 hours. If you're still having problems, if it's still not tracking, just drop me a message and we'll do like a more thorough diagnosis than this and see what's going on. I suspect that it will just sort itself out. That'll be my guess.
Yeah.
It just seems really weird though, because it's recording on one of our campaigns but not on the other one. So I don't know whether there might just be a lag there for some reason. So because they're all going to the same landing page, because we've just sort of varied it out. We're just testing between two of our ads at the moment, and so I can't see why it wouldn't be recording on the others when it's recording on one successfully. So anyway.
One thing to triple check would be, if you go through your campaigns, click onto the ad itself, look at the final URL that you've put there, and literally with a fine tooth comb just go through it, see if you made any silly mistakes on the UTMs that are directing it to, like, let's say someone clicks it and you've got a mistake that's causing the URL to break, and then let's say you've got a plugin that redirects them back to the home page, that redirect might be breaking the GCLID tracking by AdWords. So it's not actually, so you're getting a lead through aweber if they sign up through the home page, but you're not getting the conversion. So just look at those final URLs with an absolute fine tooth comb in every ad.
Will do. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thank you.
You've provided so much value to us over the last few weeks. It's been amazing. And
you're more than welcome.
This morning, like, it was really funny because one of the things, with AdWords that we've sort of been struggling with is analysing the budget and the rank columns, and I literally got back from the gym this morning and I was 10 minutes late to like start the call. I clicked on it and that was exactly where you're up to in the call. I was like, yes, go Dan. I was very excited.
Perfect. No, I'm glad it helped. Glad it helped.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Good. So any other questions from anyone who's on the call at the moment? Just to let you know, I've got a call booked in 15 minutes, but I can bump it forwards a bit if obviously we've got more stuff to talk about or there's like more that you want to dive into. That's absolutely fine. So any questions from anyone on the call? Yeah. Hi, Kelly.
Hi. All that stuff just went way over my head. I had no idea what the hell you were talking about. Just to let you know, so my question's going to be basic and easy because I'm sort of nowhere near where you guys are at the moment. But so all I'm doing at the moment is just blogging. I'm doing unpaid marketing. So it's just been a very slow process for me. And talking about having that mindset with your gun to your head, I'm just thinking, I don't think I have that mindset. I know that I want to do this and I'll do everything I can. But when it comes to the money side of it, it's a bit of a struggle. But my girlfriend has just lost a job on that, and she said she wants to get on and she's interested in signing up with SFM, and I didn't even know where to start, what to do. Like, I told her to go onto one of my blogs that she's seen, click on the banner down below and go from there. But where you guys have all your emails and how you set all that up, do you do that with, I don't really know where to go from, like, what do I do with her? She'd be my first one.
Yeah.
So if she signs up, but she wants to do the 7-day video challenge, and start from there, and then she's happy to move forward if it's for her. So what do you recommend?
Okay, so a couple of things. So from her point of view, like specifically how you can help her, just literally, like you say, 7-day video series. She watches that. If she wants to submit her application, she submits her application, and then she just goes through modules 1 to 5. Get her to speak to her SFM consultant. They're there to guide her through the steps to make sure she's covered and happy and supported and all of that kind of stuff. And essentially, like, all you can do is just keep her going through the SFM process. So SFM, like, the process has been built over years and years and years and years and years to make sure that anyone that's coming through, that the steps are systematic and logical to keep them moving forwards. Right? So you don't need to take her out of that or try and do anything yourself. Just your role is to keep her supported by the SFM process. In terms of your own stuff, so when we're talking about like the follow-up series through AWeber, and all that kind of stuff, that is they've moved it now to advanced. I think it's under advanced training in, let me just double check where it is in the dashboard, because I'd recommend, if you're blogging, rather than just dropping banners to sign up to SFM down the bottom, are these banners going to like the sales page, like the app page?
They're going to the landing page, I'm pretty sure.
To sign up to the 7-day video series?
No, actually, I don't even know.
Okay. Do you have a link for one of your blogs? With
digital bloggers, so it's automatic. It's down the bottom automatically in digital bloggers.
Ah, gotcha. So basically, it's signing up to SFM's 7-day series, but it's through SFM's follow-up, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I haven't. And then I've got my Dream Creator Lifestyle link down the bottom as well.
Awesome. Okay, let's have a quick look. So what I'd probably suggest, because the thing about blogging, and like I've personally never used blogging as a lead gen strategy. So when I blog, it's support content to the paid leads that I'm generating through YouTube. So I write blogs that go on my website, but mostly I'm writing them to send as email broadcasts to people that are following me. I'm not trying to generate new leads. So obviously, from what you're doing at the moment, if you're writing blogs to generate leads, you're trying to rank on Google. You're trying to obviously put your content, syndicate your content maybe across other channels. Is that anything you've done so far? Like put on other?
I learned to do that 2 days ago because I watched one of Danielle's.
Awesome.
One of her lives, and I learned about syndication, and then I just I got what is it? Wire? What's that one called? Only wire.
Yeah.
That one. Issue, which you create a document and then share documents. I haven't actually done it yet, but I've sort of signed up with those, and yeah, just still in the process of learning how that all works.
And things like Quora as well. Quora is another way to sort of get involved in. Yeah.
I think I signed up for that one as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Just trying to get them out there. Trying to blog every day. I had a call with Patty. She said by February I need to be doing 4 a week. So at the moment I'm doing about 3.
Okay, cool. Because the key thing is, if you're looking at like a free strategy like blogging, it's going to be about obviously creating the content, but then there's no point creating all this content if you're getting no eyeballs on it. Like the key is to get as much exposure onto your content as possible, so that you have as much chance as possible of signing people up. Because essentially, you know, it's either time or money, right? You've either got money to throw at marketing campaigns, or there's no money, but you've got time instead to, you know, to dedicate to trying to generate free traffic. That takes more time. For us, for Helena and Grant and me, we can just go, right, launch campaign, $100 a day, done, right, I'm going out. And it's like, you know, it's pretty straightforward. So it's all about the eyeballs, right? And that being said as well, like once you get eyeballs on it, you want to try and nurture that lead as much as physically possible. So the next thing that I would say, Kelly, if I was in your shoes right now, the next thing that I'd be doing is learning how to set up AWeber and start to create my own follow-up sequence. And it wouldn't take you that long once you've learned how to do it, because you've written, I guess, a ton of blog posts already, right? So if someone's signing up to your list off one of your blog posts, and then you've created an automated follow-up by literally just copying and pasting in a lot of the blogs that you've already written, they can then every single day after the 7-day video series be getting a blog from you a day. And that value that you can deliver to those people there, the amount of conversions that you might get through once they've got a bit of trust and they go, you know what, this lady actually knows what she's talking about and I like what she's saying, then they sign up. Like you will generate so many more opportunities if you're controlling your list and also giving them all of the content you've already created automatically through AdWords. Because otherwise all you're doing is you're writing a blog, you're putting it out there, you might get a few eyeballs on it, but then that's it, that's done. You've then got to write another blog, you get a few eyeballs on it, and then that's it, that's done. And it's like a very timely, high turnover, and you're not really using leverage, you know? So my advice would be go through the AWeber training, which is, I'm going to tell you where it is now. I'm pretty sure it's under training curriculum. I think it was advanced setup training, if I remember. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. So if you go, share screen so you can see. There you go. So in your back office, you go training curriculum. That'll take you to this page. I think it's advanced curriculum. If not, it'll be intermediate. Advanced curriculum, and then just go through this training, and it'll teach you how to set up AWeber. And then when you write your blogs, if you put on your blogs, you're putting your link to your 7-day video series, or your link to, you know, your AWeber follow-up, for example. And people sign up, instead of them just going to SFM and then you have no control over them and then they disappear forever. They go to your list and they get your follow-up and your content, and you're actually leveraging what you've already written to then go to everybody continually. So it's a lot smarter way of doing it.
Yeah, awesome, cool, thank you. I've got
More than
something
welcome.
to work on now, rather than I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Like I'm blogging and I'm trying to learn as much as I can and where to go, but not getting anywhere. Yeah,
I mean, once you've set this up, the biggest question. So the two things to focus on right now is getting this set up so that you can give more value to the people who are signing up and leverage what you've already done. So you're getting value from all the stuff you've already done for your follow-up. And also the main focus is, how can I get more eyeballs on every blog post that I write? Yeah. Constantly think about that. How can I get more eyeballs? Look at ways to syndicate more across more channels, like, you know, free strategies, whatever they may be. Start maybe even going to training outside of SFM. But literally that's all I'd focus on. How can I get more eyeballs? And how can I give more value based on what I've already written? Create more leverage from what I've already done.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Good stuff. You're welcome. Anytime.
Great.
And if you have any trouble going through that AWeber setup, just give us a holler there, Kelly.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, Robbie.
No worries.
Kelly, I was going to say the same thing. If you have trouble, just send me a message because I've recently got my head across it. So I'm happy to help you as well.
Nice one,
Thanks,
Catherine.
guys. I'm sure I'll need some help somewhere along the way.
Well, you've got a whole community behind you to help. So,
Yay!
woo!
Can
Right.
someone come over and show me hands-on? It's so much easier. Where's Angie? Angie's been over a few times and she's helped me out with heaps of stuff. So it's always good when you've got someone next to you and they're like showing you.
I'll put together a newsletter from AWeber. That might help you as well.
The which?
A newsletter from AWeber that you can you can set up too.
Okay, cool. I have read about that.
Yeah, nice one. Hope that helps, Kelly. Hope that helps.
Helps a lot. Yeah.
You're welcome. Any other questions from anyone at this point?
Just a quick one, Dan. Just a quick one.
Yeah, sure, Kelly.
I'm having one of those really big overwhelmed days today, unfortunately. I'm like super time poor, as in full-time job, three-year-old, doing the single mum thing at the moment while my partner's deployed. So I'm trying to focus my energies on something, as in I don't want to the 90-day Perth challenge. I'm trying to focus on that, but that kind of seems to take up all your headspace. Do you know what I mean? And that nothing else has been done, as in from a I'm focusing on Facebook. So this morning's webinar that you had, I kind of like Linda went straight over my head. I understood what you were talking about, but it kind of wasn't relevant for me at the moment because I'm trying to do Facebook. But what you said before about using your blogs to kind of add value to your 7-day video series list, what's with the 1-a-day thing? Is there some kind of rule, or is there a reason that you do one every day, or is it something that's been tried and tested that is kind of...
Yeah, good question. So the reason that I do 1 a day is because people that are coming on my list, so when I'm writing live content or live broadcasts, if I'm doing 3 of those a week, if let's say I did only 2 follow-ups per week, somebody would end up being on my list for, I don't know, 70 days before they get to the end of the follow-up. And like all of this content that I've created, and I'm going to have to look at this because the more that I pile in, like the longer it goes on, and obviously I've got to start replacing stuff with better stuff and just looking at improving instead of making it longer. But the 1 a day thing is because already the amount of content that I have, if I didn't do 1 a day, I'd either be cutting the live stuff, which means I'm not researching new content, new subject lines that work, or I would be shaving off the amount of follow-up that they get. To let's say only Wednesdays and Sundays or something. And then if that's the case, it's going to take twice as long to go through it. And if somebody's like keen and they're used to getting 1 a day on the 7-day video series for me, and if that just continues at 1 a day after that, I'm not really sort of changing what they're used to. And a lot of people, I think the number one rule is whether you send 5 broadcasts a week or 1 broadcast a week, it's about being consistent so that the people on your list, they're used to how you interact with them. And people end up like, they'll get a lot of emails from people that love the whole, the 1 a day thing, and they look forward to an email every day that's going to give them either a motivational boost or like a new insight or a video, showing them something valuable or whatever. And that's just my thing. It doesn't mean you need to do 1 a day, but it's just about consistency. But my logic was always, I've got the content and I've got the resources to do 1 a day. I've created the follow-up to do 1 a day, so why not carry on doing 1 a day?
Yeah, because I'm not even getting a lead a day. So I've obviously got some congruency issues I'm putting it down to. But I'm paid advertising and blogging and it's not, there's something going wrong. There's definitely something going wrong. So I'm going to try and focus on one thing to kind of fix rather than doing, trying to get a blog a week, putting out a couple of ads a week. It's hard to kind of figure out what to focus on first, but I've got to get leads at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure. Let me just touch on the focus thing, because what you mentioned there at the start is very important. I mean, about the Perth challenge, and if you're short of time, it's so important to make sure you're putting energy into the right things. So with the Perth challenge, what objectives have you set for yourself for the challenge?
Well, the personal ones with the exercise, I haven't hit those yet. It's just really difficult at the moment, but that will happen. I'm going on some leave soon, so I'll get back into that. The business ones were, I think, like a live video on my business page. Try and get 5 leads a day by the 30th day. Something about content. I'd have to go back and have a quick look because I can't remember off the top of my head.
Sure.
What was the other one?
Because what I suggest, Kylie, I mean, with the Perth Challenge, the idea of it is really to help you focus, and particularly with the business aspect, the whole failing thing is about just helping you take the actions that you need to take to get to where you want to get to. So if you're finding that the challenge is like a distraction from what you feel you should be doing, then change the goalpost of the challenge. Like make the challenge.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, try and focus in a little bit more on the maybe the campaigns that I've got running, because it was like 1 ad a week, that kind of stuff, a video, a live on my business page, which I've done, and I'm coming up with some ideas.
What's your marketing budget, Kylie, at the moment for Facebook?
I kind of set about $300 a month.
Yeah. Okay. Because as a quick
I'm
suggestion,
not hitting that. I'm definitely not hitting that.
Okay.
So I've had some calls with Facebook, which is good. They called me after one of my pixels got set up, and then they've rung me every week the last 3 weeks, which is getting a little bit of training from Facebook itself. So that's good.
Cool. So let me make a quick suggestion for you, because again, in terms of the focus thing, there's no point doing lives on the business page if you haven't got an audience or you haven't got marketing campaigns set up. So that at the moment is I wouldn't go as far as saying a waste of time, but it's not the most important thing. So someone who embodied this whole focusing on the right thing way better than me was Cordelia. So I don't know if you've seen Cordelia Ali.
Yeah.
Cool. So full-time mum, 13-hour shifts as a nurse. Sorry, not full-time mum, full-time nurse, 13-hour shifts as a nurse, 3 kids as well. So her time was extremely limited. Like she'd be doing the night shift, she'd get the kids, and she might have a few days where they're at school where she's got a bit of time, and then there might be a couple of evenings before she goes to work where she's got like in a couple of hours here and there, and that was it. Yeah. And her progress, like she got her first sale quicker than I did when I started, and I was working 14-hour days SFM full time. She's tracking faster than I am right now with the progress that she's making at the moment, and that's purely because her focus is exactly on the things that she needs to focus on to get the result. She doesn't worry about building like some big ass follow-up sequence. She doesn't worry about like blogging. She doesn't worry about she does her 90-day video challenge because that's really helped her master YouTube and the video side of it, which is what she's done to get the result that she has. So I would take some time, Kylie, and sit down and think, okay, what is my one biggest goal? What do I want to do? I want to get 5 leads per day on Facebook, for example. First thing I say is if you want to get 5 leads per day on Facebook, you've got to be getting $2 leads at $300 a month budget. You might need to look at ways to increase your budget if you're going to be getting 5 leads per day. All right. So then your biggest focus might be, well, how can I increase my budget? But the point is, you've got to figure out, what do you want? What's it going to take to get there? And then what can you do every day that is going to bring you closer to that? And anything that doesn't bring you closer to that, for example, a Facebook Live, not really going to bring you closer to that when your campaigns aren't working. Scrap it, get rid of it, done. It's not important. The only thing that matters is what can you do right now that's going to get you closer to where you want to get to. And unless you very clearly know where you want to get to, you're not going to be able to figure that out. So it all start with the end in mind. Right, that's the key. Write it down, figure it out, and then create your DMO, your daily method of operation around that.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How's that bite? How's that bite on your ankle?
Oh yeah, it's it recovered. Like I was fine on the plane, but God, that really hurt on the day that it happened. But no, luckily it went down and I didn't lose my leg. So
yeah, it did look good.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
My computer is smoking. You are on fire, Dan. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. I'll just quickly drop a quick message to my call, just so I'll be a little bit behind. Let's do 1 or 2 more questions if anyone's got on.
Do you have any more?
Dan, I've got a question for you.
Sure. Hey, Terry.
Hi, how are you? Everyone, how are you? Hope you're
Hey,
had a
Terry.
good day.
All good. All good.
I'm not coming out. I'm totally buggered. I've just been cramming studies in all day, and believe it or not, it's all about marketing. My daughter and I just crammed it all in, got 2 assignments out. We've got 27 days to finish 9 units. So, yeah, the clock is ticking. My question is, I've just acquired a decent sized list. I don't know what I did or how I did it. It just happened overnight, a couple of days over the weekend, and emails were just coming in left, right and centre. I've just compiled this massive big list. I'm like, how on earth did I do this? Can I do it again? And what do I do with this list now that I've got them? They came in off one of my sites, and I just have absolutely no idea what I did or how I did it.
So let me just check I understand. So your email list on AWeber, so you've just had a ton of subscribers to your list through your website?
No, these have been actually organic, not through anything I've done with AWeber or anything like that. I had been a bit cheeky and transferred a few across, and thought I might have been able to slip them onto the AWeber list and the bootcamp and that, but that was a bit of a no-no. So I sort of put it in the back of my mind and thought, well, I'd throw that question out there to you, because I've had Susan sort of coming at me, go into DBL, create an email account and put them all in there, but having this list land in my lap, it's just like, what do I do with it and how do I treat it carefully that I don't upset these people enough to have them running in 10 different directions and just basically jump off the deep end like I kind of did and threw them in the boot camp. And yeah. Okay,
so you're saying, so an email list from like so you bought a list from somewhere else?
No. I have a couple of websites that I've been working on, and one is totally under construction at the moment, and basically forgot about one of them, and all of a sudden just things are just coming in, and I'm like, well, what did I do? I just tweaked a couple of things on this site about a month ago, and I hadn't paid any attention to it because I've got a lot of personal stuff happening that's not real good at the moment. So it's sort of like got into the back of my mind, and I've been focusing on building an app on the other site, and next thing I know, all these emails are just coming in and people are registering, and I'm like, what have I done? How did I do it? And what do I do with them now that I've got them? Because they've come through not on an AWeber email, or they've not approached me through Facebook or anything like that. There's been totally organic, come just flooding through on, like they've just signed up for on a list.
Okay, so it's an old website that you haven't touched for a while.
No, it's not an old website. It's actually an academy. I've built an academy, and people are just coming in through there.
Okay, so what does the academy do?
It's totally built around SFM.
So what list did it come through to, Terry? Like, how do you emails coming through to your inbox, are they, or is there an actual? Do you have a like an autoresponder like AWeber where you've seen all these leads coming in, or are they coming into the SFM?
No, they're not coming to SFM. They're just because I hadn't done anything with it. I basically put all the banners and everything up there and set it all up, and just left it for people to just basically come across it in their own time. And what
happens when they click the banner, Terry? What happens when they click the banner?
I've had a couple of people view them and they show in traffic, but they don't show anything further than that. So they don't go any further than that with the banners themselves. I've had a bit of a problem with the banners because I've had to change them to from HTTPs to HTTPSs. So they had to update everything, and that's what I was doing. And then all of a sudden I get all these people coming in, registering, wanting to just basically be part of that website. And I'm like, well, now that I've got...
So how are they, so Terry, how are they registering? Is it through like a contact page? Are they emailing you directly? How are they registering?
Yeah, through a contact page. It's basically they sign up for a newsletter or sign up on as a, like, to contact me or something like that. But these ones have come through on basically just a newsletter, like just a registration link.
Through a newsletter. Okay.
Not for the not for a newsletter per se, just a register. It's actually a member's registration to actually become part of the academy. And I haven't really gone any further than that because I got sort of sidetracked with personal matters, as I said. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing, I think I see what you're saying. So they've signed up to an academy, or they've asked to become a part of the academy through your website, but you don't have
they've just basically come in there, and they haven't gone to the actual links themselves, because the links are there for people to go to without signing up. They don't have to sign up for anything. They can visit the links, like the SFM DBL banners and all that that's there, and basically go through all those banners. But what they've done is they've looked at the links, and that's as far as they've gone, but they've gone through and registered as a member, so that they will get, I don't know, any specials or anything that come up, or anything that I think might have interest them and that's related to that site.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So two things that I'd say then, Terry. So number one is, do you want to continue that business, that academy, or is that something you're not doing anymore?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's an SFM academy. It's like, it's basically got my SFM banners all over that. So it's growing organic traffic. But now that I've got them there, without scaring them off and just saying, look, here's the boot camp. Yeah. Because that's not what they've come in. That's not what they're there. Like, they haven't gone through the banners. They've come through just the sign up.
Perfect. And how many people roughly have you had sign up? 10, 20, 100?
We're looking at 30 at the moment.
Okay. Right. Cool. So what I would
basically gone from 2 to 30.
Okay. Good.
In a couple of days. So.
Right. Yeah. So no, that's awesome. So here's what I'd say then. So you've launched this academy online. It sounds like organically it started ranking if people are literally just landing on this and then signing up. So you've got a very, very good opportunity here. If this continues to generate free traffic and free leads for you, my advice would be to start building a follow-up. So when people sign up to this academy, instead of having them just email you directly, when they sign up, have them click like a link that subscribes them to an email list. It doesn't have to necessarily be the 7-day video series straight away, but it can be an introductory. Welcome to the academy. Here's what to expect. Here's what we're going to give you. Blah, 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 blah. Create like a follow-up sequence that maybe then goes into the 7-day video series after day 4 or 5 or something like that, because you've got this traffic coming through. And if they're signing up, there's an interest there if you built the site on SFM. But my advice would be to start building right now a nurture campaign that transitions them into the 7-day video series. Don't worry too much about the 30 that have already signed up. Sure, you can drop them an email and say, hey, if you're interested, here's a 7-day video series. But what would be more important is to build this follow-up behind the scenes for the other 30 and then 30 and then 30 and then 30 and like the other hundreds of people that might continue to come down the line. Right. So use this 30 as a trigger to go, right, it's time to build this and build a structure to support these people moving forward from there. That would be my advice.
So the problem I found too was some of them I put directly through the AWeber and manually physically put that email in there, and they had an email go out to whether they wanted to accept to be on that email list or not.
Yeah.
And that's where I found I hit a problem.
Yeah, so you turn off the double opt-in, and if you can't do it for your list, just email AWeber support, so support@aweber.com, and just say, hey, please can you turn off the double opt-in for my list?
Yeah, okay. Because that's a big problem. Like, they get that, and it's like, well, do we want to be on this list or not?
Yeah.
So you lose people that way.
Exactly, you turn that off, because otherwise that becomes a whole nother conversion. Like if I had double opt-in on, I'd probably have had 1/3 of the revenue that I've had up until this point through SFM, because people just wouldn't opt in. Hope that helps.
It certainly has. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Terry. No problem at all. And I've just spotted as well. So when we were talking about subject lines before, so Catherine said, do I research attractive subject lines, or do I just wing it with subject lines that I think would be interesting? To be fair, I kind of just wing it at the moment. I just send stuff out that I think, based on my experience of reading, like the Adweek Copywriting Handbook by Joseph Sugarman, Hypnotic Writing by Joe Vitale, 2 good books. If you've been in SFM a while, you'll have probably heard those mentioned before. And also based on my own experience, I sometimes, I don't do this much anymore, I'm way too busy, but I sometimes will sit there and go through my subject lines that I've done, and I look for trends, like what makes good open rates. And it will be things often like, I think want to do something or want to have something was a good, like generally speaking, that would be a good subject line at the start, or questions are often good as well. So basically when you're doing your live stuff, every now and then just stop and like look at what's been working for you, what subject lines are good. And also like the lifestyle team, for example, Sandrine shared their best performing subject lines, and she shared a list of like 30 subject lines. It's in my group as well, because Colin Tracy shared it in my group. So you can start from there, look at what performs best for you there, and then just kind of go deeper moving forwards. But yeah, I kind of just wing it, but it's educated guessing. It's not totally random, Hope that makes sense. I'm not sure if she actually heard it. She ain't got her headphones in. There she is.
I'll listen to the recording. Somebody came in and I was talking to them.
That's right. We'll let you off. Basically, I wing it with educated guesses. You're welcome.
Thank you. Anytime.
Right, guys, unless there's any final questions, I need to wait 20 minutes. Okay, I kind of need to go.
No worries.
But guys, I hope that was useful. Anytime, you're welcome.
Thanks, Dan.
And guys, I'll speak to you all soon.
No worries. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Thanks,
Dan. Thanks, Dan.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I want to go too and put someone to bed.
No worries. Good night, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you again.
Good night, everyone.